Plaintiff Tracy Walsh met the defendant on a dating site, but after a couple of dates, they realized they were better off as friends. Tracy claims they became roommates, but things went south after he walked in on the defendant having sex in Tracy's bed. He's suing for rent, a security deposit, and late fees. Defendant Alex Bauer believes Tracy is upset that their sexual relationship didn't continue after they moved in together. And while living together, Tracy brought home a new sexual partner nearly every day. He's countersuing for defamation.
Start with you, sir.
Well, I met Alex in July of 2017. We met on a dating site, and we went on a couple of dates, and very quickly realized that we'd be much better friends. So we decided to move in.
Why?
Why? Oh, just we didn't have any chemistry. Just didn't really click, and it was clear we'd be better friends.
That's what people should do. A lot of people stay together because the sex is good or whatever, and, or because you got money or whatever. You need to be compatible and have a good energy and chemistry. So that's a smart way to approach dating, in my opinion.
I agree. So we moved in together, and very quickly things went sideways. He had lots of people coming into the apartment all hours of the day and night. I came home from my parents' house one afternoon with my best friend and her 6-year-old son, and came home to find him in my bedroom, on my bed, having sex with another man while our 6-year-old son and I walked in the front door. My bedroom was directly in front of us with the door wide open. I very quickly made a distraction for the kids so he wouldn't realize what was going on, and just told Alexa we'd talk about it later. He then very quickly, in short order, wrote bad checks. So yeah, things went sideways really quickly, and he was a good friend, but a terrible roommate. And so he owes me for past year rent.
How did that end up, your tenancy together?
Terribly.
I know what happened.
We had just moved into a brand new building. We were the first tenants in the building and the first tenants in the unit. And we made 1 month's rent, and then very quickly things went sideways, and he had started bouncing.
How about you? Did you pay your share?
Oh, of course, yeah. All month there. And nobody from the complex or Alex had managed to tell me until 4 months in that he'd been writing bad checks or bouncing checks. And so you add in the late fees and everything else, so it was very quickly $4,000 in debt to a brand new apartment complex that I just moved into. I really liked it. Came home from my parents' house one afternoon with my best friend and her 6-year-old son, and came home to find him in my bedroom, on my bed, having sex with another man while our 6-year-old son and I walked in the front door.
Plaintiff Tracy Walsh says the defendant was his roommate, and one day he walked in on the defendant having sex in his bed.
All right, sir, let me hear from you.
Tracy and I did start out as like sexual friends, and we moved in December of 2018. I took it as just, we were moving in as friends. The sexual relationship between he and I had come to an end. And I think Tracy thought that the sexual relationship was going to continue while we were roommates. And when that turned out to not be the fact.
When he saw you were a sex fiend. He knew then when he's about the 5th man.
When he's seen me as a sex fiend.
I had no such intimations. That was not the case whatsoever.
Go ahead, sir.
Strictly as friends.
All right. So how did it go, the tenancy living together?
Oh, it was not the best. Tracy would ask me, where have you been for 3 days? Why aren't you home? Will you be able to take me to the store? And he talks about my active sex life, but Tracy was just as active, having, a new partner pretty much every day.
That's not true. That's not even close.
You all were protecting yourself, I hope. All right. And other than that, other than both of you all accusing each other of being sex fiends, it was living together was all right.
Well, it was all right until Tracy started to become harassing towards me.
No, that did not happen.
Why did it become harassing?
When I was unable to pay rent, he started to send me threatening text messages that he was gonna drill the lock out of my door and move my stuff down the curb.
Why weren't you able to pay your rent?
Well, I lost my job and I lost my car, and so I was just going through a lot of.
How did you lose your job?
I got fired.
For coming to work too late every morning after the wild nights? That's supposed to be for the weekend. What days did you work?
What was that?
What days did you work on the job you got fired from?
They would vary. The hours would vary.
Well, only do that when you don't work the next day.
Good advice, thank you.
You don't know when to have your fun. Have your fun on the day off. And much fun as you have, ain't that many days off in the world, though. From what I'm hearing. Go ahead, sir. Tell me about the rent and how he owes and what discussions you all have had regarding the rent.
The rent, we have a lease agreement with the complex where we were going to pay the entire sum total due of $1,404 a month, plus the first 6 months we were going to pay an additional amount to pay off the original security deposit, which is equal to 1 month's rent of $1,404. So that rent came to $812.40, and I paid mine on time, no problem, and Alex hadn't paid it and hadn't told anybody about it, nor had the complex. And any concern I had shown for him about not being home was simply to make sure he was okay, because he often fell asleep in his car. And so I was just a concerned friend, making sure that he was, getting home and not sleeping in his car somewhere. He also owes me for additional security deposit, unpaid late fees. It was about $1,000. So $250 per month for $125 for the bounce check and $125 for being late.
You been back there snorting cocaine?
No, hardly.
Tell them to start checking these people when they come in here. Some of them come in here high. Or act like one guy we had, he was in here couldn't even address. I had to end the case. You over there, I can't understand a word you saying. You're talking 1,000 miles an hour, and your hands is doing all that. You're flipping the papers that you're not even looking at. You're just flipping them.
I'm nervous, is all.
You nervous?
Yes.
All right. You sound pretty confident in what you're saying to me. But go ahead, sir. And I am enjoying this exchange. So it's not like I'm trying to ridicule you. I am having fun with you.
I understand.
All right. So he didn't pay, and when you last asked him about it, what has he said?
He said he had written a check to them, and that was it. He had paid the rent in his eyes.
All right, and there's no evidence of that. You have evidence that the management says it hasn't been paid.
Showing the
So did you pay it or not? Do you owe it or not?
I would say I did owe Tracy the money.
Okay, so what's your defense?
Tracy, like I said, he became very harassing.
Hey, that's your counterclaim. He harassed you because of the rent not being paid?
Yes.
Before that, why wouldn't you pay the rent?
Well,
he harassed you because you didn't pay the rent.
No.
So the question is, do you have a defense to not paying the rent? I hear how he harassed you.
Right.
Let's get to the non-payment first. Do you have a defense against you not paying your rent prior to the harassment?
No.
Okay.
I lost my job, and I was unable to pay rent.
All right. Did he share this with you, and were you
No, I
trying...
never saw him. He was never at the apartment, so it would be hard for him to share anything when he was never there.
Okay.
I have a copy of the lease as well as the 3-day eviction notice that we received.
All right, but he agrees that he owes. Your counterclaim, $1,500 for harassment. How so?
Well, like I said, Tracy was threatening to take the locks off of my door and move my stuff out to the sidewalk. He was telling friends of mine that I was not working and I was unable to pay rent because I was having sex with so many people.
Said no such thing.
Oh, like I think. Yeah. You up all night.
I was too busy
Me and him
to
share
work.
the same opinion. Don't sue me. I'll share the same opinion, man. That's why you got fired. You can't come to work. Come to work, your eyes all baggy. You're tired and sleepy all the time, hanging out, walking slow. Why dealing with that? You
know,
good night's sleep.
I was going through a hard time.
Well, go get you a man that's going to keep you. You can't stay up all night. Get kept. You know what getting kept mean, don't you?
Right.
Get kept, man. Find you.
But the bottom line is that... The bottom line is
You don't want to
that...
work. You want to freak all night, every night. Get you a sponsor.
Sponsor.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
And he talks about my active sex life, but Tracy was just as active, having, a new partner pretty much every day.
That's not true. That's not even close.
All right. And other than that, other than both of you all accusing each other of being sex fiends, it was living together was all right.
Plaintiff Tracy Walsh says the defendant was his roommate, and one day he walked in on the defendant having sex in his bed.
Did you harass the man?
No, nothing of the sort, Your Honor.
Not even once?
Nope. I asked him
I
when
have
he was moving
evidence.
out after having
I have
not paid
evidence
rent for
of his
4 months,
harassment.
and he said whenever he felt like it, or he would eventually, and it wasn't until the very
What do you
end.
have?
I have evidence of his harassment and text
How many
messages.
times has he harassed you?
Oh, many times.
Oh, yeah.
And you say you never did it once.
It's not harassment if it's the truth, right?
Well,
Well-
we'll see. Let's see what he said.
Is this it?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't need that.
And about those third-party communications, it's a lot.
See what he said? You said it.
His ex in the apartment blocked me from moving anybody else in.
You talking fast now, dog. You see, I got these texts. You coming up with all kind of reasons that
So
you
this is
harassed
like
the man.
the 4th month in that he hadn't paid rent, and
I
was
guess since
refusing
you
to
can't
leave.
respect me enough to keep your word or even reply to my text, I will just have Nikki bring her power tools, and she will just remove your lock, and we will start dragging your stuff
we
in
never
the
did.
hallway.
No,
And-
never
but
happened.
they never did it. Veiled
Never
threat.
happened.
No, you didn't.
Right.
But you.
Please don't take my keys because you are mad at me for
Oh yeah, he stole my
for
keys.
putting yourself in this situation. I am begging you. You have until 7 p.m. to return my keys, or I'm calling the cops. I haven't seen anything regarding harassment, sir. All this is talking about how to resolve this dispute, and they talk about don't take his keys because you are mad for putting yourself in this situation. You have until 7 o'clock, or so I'm calling the police. None of that I'm going to conclude was harassment. Judgment for the plaintiff, your claim is dismissed. Have a good day.
I don't have anything to say.
Not really, no, I'm just glad it's over.